Hello, everyone. Are we on? We are on. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Shay's Warriors, uh, our talk, listen, share group. Shay's Warriors is a 501c3 nonprofit with a all-volunteer board of directors that was formed in the Coachella Valley to help our cancer community thrive after treatment is over. The mission of Shay's Warriors is to inspire, inform, and empower through health, fitness, and the mind body connection to heal survivors and their families through a national network of support. Our Talk, Listen, Share community was formed as part of our online educational outreach to support each other through survivorship and thrivership. Talk, Listen, Share is hosted by our board members every second and fourth Wednesday of the month by Shay Moraga, the founder of Shay's Warriors, Rosemary Flaherty, a retired RN, and myself, Dr. Sonia Fung, a naturopathic doctor specializing in integrative cancer care. We look forward to our special guest speakers to broaden our conversation within the cancer healing sphere. And tonight, what we are going to talk about is keeping it real during the holidays and maintaining our health as well as having fun too as we celebrate. And I want to bring on Rosemary to give us kind of a rundown of what we want to talk about tonight.
Hello, everyone. This is a new year, and we're actually able to celebrate the holidays this year. So it's really important to think about what we're going to do to keep ourselves healthy during a lot of increased activity, a lot more tempting food and drink, a lot more parties, and a lot more busyness. So a lot of activities are probably getting compacted right now related to holiday celebrations and being with people and Christmas shopping and all of those good things that go with it. So we might be doing Christmas shopping live this year, which is probably going to feel really nice to a lot of people, but it can also increase the stress. So it's important to remember that getting out and celebrating can be stressful. It can be something that we just maybe are a little bit too overzealous with. And so we need to remember to take care of ourselves and also remember to not get overtired. So there are lots of things that we can do that might not take up that much time, but to maybe set some goals, or rather than goals, but just make a list of reminders of things that we need to do every day. Goals sound so structured. It's the holidays we want to celebrate. We want to be able to enjoy ourselves and enjoy being with people. So some of the things that you might want to remind yourself are to remember to exercise, to remember to move, remember to stretch. When you're feeling stressed, remember breathing. Breathing is such a simple and wonderful way to collect thoughts, to regroup, to settle down, and just give yourself a moment. And how to manage your diet, how to manage parties, how to manage alcoholic intake. So we have lots of different options for thinking about food, for thinking about drink, for thinking about safe settings, as far as we still have to be very cautious when we're with people. So we want to keep some distance and just remember to take good care of ourselves, keep our immunity up so that we don't get any other kinds of flus or any of the symptoms of colds and things that can make us feel run down and spoil the holidays, because this is a holiday that we really can enjoy ourselves and stay healthy and just kind of think it through a little bit more. So to help us with some of the exercise portion and how to keep our bodies good and strong and relaxed is Shay. We're going to hand it over to you, Shay.
Oh, of course you are. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody tonight. Well, at least the three of my colleagues that are on here hosting the show with me. Hi, Joy. Yeah, so energy during the holidays and energy at any time of life really kind of ebbs and flows, just like a roller coaster, right? So how do we get energy back, especially when we're under tons of stress? I mean, there's just so much stuff that you can do when you get out there and exercise, a long brisk walk. Um, Someone that might just be able to go outside for just 30 minutes. 30 minutes is all you need. Start swinging the arms really quick. Take long strides. If you're just healing and kind of getting back to normal again, take just maybe stand just straight up in a living room or outside looking at the mountains, and just start with swinging the arms, swinging them as fast as you can back and forth. Also, taking them all the way up to the sky, taking a nice deep breath and breathe in. It's like a wood chop, right? You go ahead and wood chop. You would be so invigorated with the breath coming in and the exhale going out. Just really getting that energy, that oxygen flowing through your body really, really well. Some other simple yoga poses are just to open your heart. Continue to sit tall, reach those arms all the way up to the sky, open up and give yourself maybe even a baby back bend. It's a little bit hard for me to show you not in person, but keeping the upper part of your portion of your body, pushing the heart up towards the sky, opening up. Little baby back bends really bring the energy centered all the way through the body. And of course, the breath, really getting the breath to just breathe in as you reach up and exhaling strong and out. That really helps get the energy flowing. So some of those are just easy pose with an arch. You can also do a low cobra laying on your belly if you're able to do that. And then just kind of tilting up, bringing and opening up that upper portion of your body. Even a full cobra. Full cobras are great. You zip those legs together, you open up, you press down with your hands, and up you go. Upward facing dog, another great one. If you're able to do that, upward facing dog is a great yoga posture to be able just to get that energy flowing. And a low lunge, a nice low lunge. If you've ever seen with a little bit of an arch, you place your knee down on the ground, you lunge, and you open those arms all the way up. Not only are you working on the energy, but you're working on your balance and you're working on some core techniques too. So it encompasses everything that is just amazing. Some of that stuff. I had to give you a little bit of singing. I've been watching movies all day long, sing-alongs. So why not, right? It is the holidays. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Fung now, and thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Shay. That is so exercise, we can't even say, or movement, we can't even say enough of it. And it's one of the basic foundations of health, and also it helps it does so much for your body in so many ways, and specifically it is very helpful for reducing risk of cancer recurrence. So we're talking about survivorship and thrivership here, and the biggest thing that you can do for your body is movement every single day if possible. And it also helps with reducing stress, right? You're burning off excess cortisol, and you're relaxing your system. And it is it doesn't have to be you going to the gym, lifting weights, whatever. It could be at your home, it could be at your desk, it could be in bed. So it's very, very easy to do. Um, the other things that we wanted to talk about tonight is some ways of maintaining a healthy but yet not restrictive necessarily nutritional or dietary um, uh, program during the holidays. I know it's very difficult being around so many of your favorite things and treats over the holidays, and it's always very difficult for my patients to keep within their dietary goals. But one of the main things that you can do, and I tell my patients all the time, is to keep treats a treat, and not every single day, but um, but do it again as a treat. And if you are one of those people who love to bake, bake for others, and maybe keep the taste testing to a minimum, so you can still have a little bit of fun, but still do what you love to do. I There's a lot of bakers out there that I appreciate because they drop things off at my office and my staff loves them. So, and maybe a little bit too much. So, um, but I do appreciate that their efforts, and um, it's it's a fun thing to do with the family as well if that's a tradition for you. So, but one of the things that I would wanted to pose to our audience is if you have a healthy favorite recipe that you like to do or make during the holidays, what and post it in the comments. That would be fun to go through and maybe do a test run for some of these for some of your special holiday favorites. Um, so please give us your thoughts and your recipes that perhaps the audience would like to try as well. So other things about ways to maintain healthy nutrition goals is to think about portion sizes. So, portion sizes, we're talking not dinner plate size, but salad plate size. And if you use a salad plate for your dinner plate, that's like kind of tricking your body to thinking, oh, the plate is full, but it's just a much smaller portion size. And also, another big thing, chew your food completely. A lot of people kind of just eat in front of the TV, or they're talking with other people and they're just putting stuff in their mouth. And it, I think you eat a lot more when you're not thinking about it. So when you like slow down, smell the food, chew the food completely, typically it's like 20 to 30 chews per bite. Um, then you find that your body feels very satisfied with much less. And that is a nice little holiday trick to utilize for some of your favorite meals. Another piece that we really want to talk about for the holidays that we can't really or shouldn't ignore is the emotional health piece. And I want to pass it over to Rosemary to talk about this very important topic that should not be ignored at this time. I'm going to unmute you, Rosemary.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Hi. What happens at the holidays is everybody anticipates that it's going to be a time of joy and happiness and community. For many people, it represents other things. It might bring back bad memories. It seems like if there is something that happens around the holidays, say there's something that happens within a family that is, say, someone gets in an accident, someone has a diagnosis that's not very pleasant, it tends to get more amplified during the holidays. So there are things that we need to think about as far as emotional health and taking care of ourselves. We don't want to think about not having a good time during the holidays, but like I said, this year it can be a little bit more emotional because we are free for the first time in a couple of years. So it can be difficult to re-enter. There can be expectations on the people around us and ourselves that we just are anticipating that everything's going to be very joyful. It might be a rocky road. That's okay. If you're having emotions that are really affecting you and you feel like you need to talk to someone, we really encourage people to talk with someone that's either a trusted friend, your family, or seek professional help if you think that you need it. It's not unusual during the holidays, on the best of times, for people to have emotions brew up that can affect the holidays and can affect you. The other thing about emotions, as Dr. Fung mentioned, is lots of things that we do can impact our mental health. So if we are celebrating too much, if we're drinking too much alcohol during the holidays, that's something that can definitely affect your mental health. Remember, alcohol is a depressant, so it can make you feel very bubbly at the time, but it might have effects later on that aren't as pleasant. Overindulging in food can also be something that affects your emotional health, as far as feeling guilty about what we're doing to our bodies. Not getting enough exercise. One of the strong effects of exercise and stretching and breathing is that it relaxes us and it really promotes good chemistry in our brain. So our bodies produce all types of chemicals when we're exercising that go to our brain, and when you've heard of endorphins, it releases endorphins, which are very, very happy chemicals for the brain. So it can help you out. So there are strategies that you can set up. It's always okay to say no to invitations. It's always okay to provide yourself with extra rest during the holidays, because that is something that too can promote a great deal of good mental health as well as immunity. So when we're talking about parties and we're talking about taking care of ourselves and we're talking about getting out and celebrating, because it is a time for celebration, we want everybody to have a good time. Maybe it's just a good idea for everybody to kind of just set up some boundaries as far as what you're allowing yourself to do. So how do we do that? You go to a party, there's delicious food, there's delicious alcohol, there's just all kinds of things that are going on. Or the potluck at work doesn't tend to have alcohol, but it can certainly have an enormous amount of food, and you tend to eat a little bit more in that environment than you normally would for any type of meal. Kind of keep, as Dr. Fung brought up, a visual display of exactly how much you're putting on your plate, so to speak. And if you're at a place where you can take hors d'oeuvres, think about what's in the hors d'oeuvres, because that's where so many calories really pack up, are on those really delicious hors d'oeuvres. So balance things out. So it's kind of like, take steps. If I've just had like an amazing hors d'oeuvre, say it's one of those delicious things that involves all types of pastry and cheese, think about the next thing you take, maybe something more vegetable-y, or limiting, say, allowing yourself to eat 2 of those for the entire night. These types of things, just being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth, can help pace things. When you're out eating dinner with someone, if you're sharing a meal, and you're thinking about, and you're drinking wine or you're having a cocktail, think about, if I'm having an alcoholic beverage, my next beverage is going to be something like a sparkling water, or a ginger ale, or something that is non-alcoholic. And then if you hydrate in between the alcoholic beverages, it's a lot easier to get through the night, and you just feel better, reduce the alcohol, and you'll sleep better as well. Remember, alcohol is responsible for a lot of sleep disruptions. You might get to sleep, but you don't stay asleep as readily. And if we're trying to get rest during the holidays, might be something to think about. The other thing is, there are so many wonderful recipes out there for mocktails, which are cocktails that don't have alcohol, but they're delicious, and they're complex, and they have layers of flavor, and they're very satisfying. So that is something that you might want to consider as well, is coming up with your own mocktail. Get a recipe off of the internet, or start thinking about things like going online to look up bitters or simple syrups that are herb-based, because those are additives that just in plain old sparkling water taste really delicious. Bitters are actually part of health. They promote a lot of good gut health, because there's a lot of different herbs that go into them. And bitters have been a big part of health in many settings. They're a big part of health in Switzerland and in Austria, because they think that they are a big part of keeping your liver healthy, which keeps your body and your mind healthy and detoxified. So, and bitters have been part of medicine for generations and generations, and they go back to the Roman times. So the use of medicinal herbs, they're usually, bitters imply that they are cured in an alcohol base, and they're very strong. So you only want to put a few drops in a soda, and you could put them in ginger ale, in tonic water, in whatever beverage you want. And they also are a part of a lot of the crafted cocktails involve exotic bitters. And simple syrups, easy to make, half water, half sugar. You can put in fruit, you can put in herbs, rosemary, maybe, and citrus peel make wonderful simple syrups. So it's just heating them up, letting them sit, letting them absorb the flavors, and then you can mix those into cocktails and into mocktails, so that you have lots of flavor. Because what you want to celebrate with the holidays is deliciousness, and a good beverage, whether it has alcohol or not, is one way to celebrate, and one way to also take care of yourself. So I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but after a party, or during a party, imagine you're keeping a diary. So it doesn't have to be calories, but it's just like, kind of it helps you be mindful of what you're eating. And the other thing is, I know that before parties, a lot of people starve themselves before they go to a party, or before they go to that holiday dinner or that Thanksgiving dinner. probably not the best thing, because then you just overeat and overeat. So it's better to maintain your normal meal time and then go and celebrate and eat a delicious meal. But you don't have to overdo it, and you don't have to feel like it's a race to get some food. We're very lucky right now to be in a time where we're able to emerge and to be with more people than we have been. But as we've stated, this year can be very joyful, but also take good care of yourself, because it is important for survivorship. It's important for getting through the holidays. It's important for your relationships, and it's important for you to do those stretches, to maintain good hydration, to be mindful of good nutrition, and have a good time and enjoy yourself. Okay.
Thank you, Rosemary. Love
You're
it.
welcome.
So Rosemary, you always have such amazing, practical tips for us, and I love it. So, and with the bitters, Swedish bitters, right, is one of the things that I prescribe quite a bit. It really helps to prep your digestion. It's great to prime your digestive enzymes, and it just helps with that, like reducing the bloaty, gross feeling that a lot of people suffer through. So bitter things are good for you.
Very good.
Like bitter greens, like bitter melon actually is also very good for you. So just stimulating that bitter taste it can actually be highly beneficial for reducing the amount of sugar in your system, and great for diabetics, and balancing that blood sugar. So thank you for sharing all of those things.
Another thing about bitters is that the taste tends to linger a little bit. And because it has a little bit of a lingering flavor, you're not as hungry. It's really a fun search on the internet, because there are alcoholic bitters, which means that the herbs and the herbal contents are extracted with alcohol. But you can have non-alcoholic bitters as well. The thing about the alcoholic bitters is they're very strong, so it only takes a few drops in your beverage, and it's very satisfying. And the old medicine with the herbs is that by using the bitters, because they were very focused on liver health, because that also was something that if your GI tract is cleansed and healthy, then your mind is much better. You're clearer, and your mood is more even. So there's that big gut-mind connection that is really kind of important to think about during the holidays. But it's a fascinating search on the internet to look up gourmet bitters. I mean, the price points go from like $15 to like $90 a bottle. So it's fun to just look at the contents, and also recipes, how you can make them yourselves, because it's a process. They have to cure for X amount of days, and you have to shake them. And so it's a process, but it really makes you mindful of creating something that's wonderful. And the simple syrup's the same way.
Yeah.
I also like kombucha. Kombucha is great. Not, it does, in some of the kombuchas, it does have a little bit of alcohol in it. I mean, it does ferment that way. But it's another great drink to be able to have around the holidays. And when you place it with different juices or different items too, it makes a great non-alcoholic beverage.
Absolutely.
I love to
And
mix kombuchas with like a tonic or
oh yeah,
the ginger ale, and the
yeah,
Fever Tree products that are delightful, bubbly mixers tend to have less calories in them.
yes. Yeah, the Fever Tree ginger ale, like, I really like that spicy ginger, and, like, they hit it just right. So, yeah, it's great. Um, one way when you were talking about the alcoholic bitters, one way to reduce the amount of alcohol content in those types of bitters is to add it into hot drinks because the heat is going to evaporate some of the alcohol content in that bitter. So that's another way of enjoying a drink with less alcohol content as well. To and still maintaining the benefits of that medicinal herbal piece of it.
And they're also delicious. They taste
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. I know. I wanted to swing it back to Shay because she has some more wonderful stretches and other movements that she wanted to add on. Um,
I'm always thinking about opening the heart up. So, of course, that was the first thing that I talked about, especially during the holiday season, because, like Rosemary was saying, sometimes it is the holidays bring up a lot of different things, and it's really can be very heavy on our hearts. So, during the holidays, I like to focus on a lot of heart openers, but also, first thing in the morning when you are just sitting up in bed, maybe just start by going ahead and just rolling the head side to side. Give yourself a little bit of time to wake up. The first thing I do, I am guilty of this, is I wake up, I grab my phone, and I just start mindlessly scrolling through emails and text messages and Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. And I've gotten into a bad habit where recently I've stopped myself and I just open my eyes, take a nice deep breath from my head to my toes and back again. And then I immediately, this is crazy, I know, but it works. I just shoot my hands up in the air and I really start to roll my wrists, your joints, whatever it is. And then I roll the other wrist. And then I roll my ankles and I squeeze my toes and then I open them and I squeeze them and open them. Because as I'm getting older, I've noticed things are starting to just have a little bit more stiffness when I wake up in the morning. And then I sit up and I just kind of take that arm and I give a nice little neck stretch. And then I release and I inhale and take the other arm and a nice little in stretch. And then I sit nice and tall and I open again. I'm continuing to open because a lot of times when we sit or we're on our computer, we're closing. So I'm always trying to tell people, open, open. And then you just turn at the trunk and you turn at your trunk. And then maybe bring your knee into your chest and roll the ankle again. And then the opposite knee into your chest and again. And then still at this point, maybe that's like 2 minutes worth of stretching, right? And now maybe you just throw those feet over across your bed and you're sitting on the side of your bed. Let the blood flow gently start to come back. Maybe shake the legs on the side of the bed. Back your heels, kick your heels to maybe a backboard or whatever you might have. And then just slowly get down, stand up. Keep your arms at the side of the bed and then sit back down again and then get up and sit down. Maybe do a couple little squats in that position and then head off to do whatever you want to do. But I wanted to make sure that I got that in there because in the morning, a lot of times we want to just either scroll mindlessly with that cell phone because we're such an age in technology right now, right? Or we want to race off to whatever it is because maybe we're running late or maybe we just want to get the day going, and that's great. But maybe give your body just a little bit of self-love and self-care. 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Sonia?
Thank you, Shay. Always, always for your movement tips. So, all right. So I know, oops, sorry. Okay, there we go. Now everyone's unmuted. All right. Did you want to add something, Rosemary?
Yeah, I think that the importance of the way that you start your day is really sets you up for a much better day. And when you wake up, I know that I'm a person that the minute they wake up, it's just like, bam, I'm out of bed. You know, there's no transition. So it's ridiculous. A lot of people don't understand it. But as Shay was saying, you know, you get older, you have injuries, you've had consequences of medical procedures or treatments. It's a wonderful, kind hug that you can give yourself in the morning to be aware of your body, to stretch, to do, you know, these are gentle movements. So you want something that's gentle. And when you get out of bed, you'll feel more grounded, and you will, your body feels it will appreciate the stretch. Because if you get out of bed without doing it, you know, the first like 10 steps, you might be, oh, my back hurts, or oh my gosh, my ankle is so loud this morning. What's wrong? You know, your body lets you know when you've gotten out of bed way too fast. I do a by the bed stretch, where I actually use the bed as like, it's not like my bar, but I extend and stretch my arms out. And then I bend my knees and lean back like I'm going to sit in a chair. So you're stretching kind of in opposite poles, but it's a wonderful stretch. Feel your feet firmly on the ground and evenly on the ground, and focus on your feet, your balance, your stretch. Let your head fall. And it's just a kind of an all over body stretch that really is nice. And then your first few steps away from bed is going to feel a lot more comfortable.
A lot less creaky.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I also like to have like a small hand towel, and then you can use that to help like stretch your hamstrings, or like you can like wrap it around your ankle and kind of like pull it towards you. So it's kind of like a very old school stretch band. So you don't need any fancy equipment. You just need an old towel, and you're already lying down. So and the movements are what you can do. And so you don't have to like push yourself or anything like that, but it's a great way, as you said, to start your day. And I remember one of the best wake up calls, because I am one of those people who like roll over and like grab the phone to turn off my alarm, and then it just like starts to scroll. But one of your first scrolls is a message from Rosemary saying, remember to stand up and stretch your arms and breathe, and do 5 minutes of, of deep breathing. Okay, now go to work. And I'm like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever. Thank you. Thank you. And it was such a great reminder to slow it down, not just zip off and do my thing. And it's fantastic if you have like a meditation reminder health buddy.
And that's a little gift that you can give your best friend, or give somebody in your family who's particularly having a bad time or has a stressful job every day. It's just really simple to say, just take a moment, take 2 deep breaths, put your shoulders way back, open your heart, and take 2 minutes, and then restart. So it really is just kind of a fun thing. I have another person that I do that to frequently. Sometimes she accepts it, and sometimes she's like, I just don't have time for that. So It's really nice when you have somebody that appreciates it, and we'll do it. But it really is fun, and that's just a little way to take care of each other in a very, very subtle way.
We can also use the Shays Warriors community page. We have our meditation and mindful music on our Spotify channel. So that's always a great tool that anyone can use, complimentary.
Yeah, that's right. And our most recent talk, listen, share with Cecily on meditation, that was amazing. So that video is also up, and we've had some also Rosemary and Shay, you've both done some fabulous meditation and breathing videos as well, and that is all available for our Shays community. So it's online, available at any time that you need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think that a lot of what tonight's presentation is about in Talk, Listen, Share is if we remember to take good care of ourselves, to maintain some healthy habits, and still allow ourselves to have a really good time and enjoy the holidays that are here, and not be hard on ourselves. To if you need to retreat for any reason, if you're not in the best state of mind, then it's okay to take a break. It's okay to just take care of yourself, whatever that might be. So self-care is a big part of enjoying the holidays, of staying healthy, of not feeling guilty at the end of the holidays because you put on weight or you just went hog wild. I know I've had a few holidays like that in my youth. It's like, what did I do? So it's just a good time to enjoy ourselves, try to relax, and take it all in, because it's a wonderful time.
It is. We do have a few questions. Let me pop those up real quick here. Jason says, this is great. You may address this, but what tips do you recommend to avoid the fall off of many New Year resolutions a few weeks or months after the new year? Wow.
That's interesting, because last year I did quite a bit of research on that for Talk, Listen, Share that actually got canceled. But part of it is, don't label them resolutions. Resolutions mean something hard, fast, and might be difficult to really maintain, because the resolutions we set tend to be really big. It's like, I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to. It's probably best to step back a little bit and maybe identify what's the one thing that you would really like to modify or to change, and what's a simple program that I might be able to start with kind of gently and then move up from there. Resolutions are broken because there's so many times unrealistic, and it's kind of like somebody barking at you to make resolutions, as opposed to analyzing a situation and just kind of gently moving into a new program that's going to be beneficial for you.
I think those are great points. I have another philosophy too on those resolutions. I do agree that I don't necessarily like the term setting goals, setting New Year's resolutions anymore. I like to, prior to New Year's, do a vision board. And what does that vision board look like? And I like to take maybe a list of 10 things. And those, yes, they are, even though they are goals, they're little things that this is what I would like to kind of focus on for my year. So 10 months, 10 goals. And I give myself a little bit of fluff in there. So there's, 2 months where I might miss it, but I also set a ticker in my calendar. How does this goal look like? And I like to set it on the date of my birthday, because it always reminds me. And then on my birthday, where am I at? Because my birthday always falls towards the later part of the year, the last 2 months of the year. So I like to kind of do that. And for me, I've been pretty successful at doing that. Now, when it comes to weight, or when it comes to going to the gym 7 days a week, I've always recognized in myself that those aren't necessarily realistic goals. So, what I try to do is set the goal of making sure that 3 times a week I'm doing something active. It's not necessarily going to the gym, it might be bike riding, it might be walking, it might be doing the yoga at home, breathing, stretching. I try to condense those fitness goals a little bit lower. Or not lower, you're still being active, but just the fact that I'm not going somewhere, so I don't feel all this pressure to go. And again, that has helped me stay on track more, especially in the last 2 years, to be able to keep my fitness up, even though maybe my eating got out of control. It's all about balance, right?
It's all balance, Shay. It's all
Yeah.
balance.
Yes.
That's right.
I love the activity of a vision board and the thinking out of a vision board, because that's just a wonderful activity that you prepare for, and you think it out and you produce it, and you can look at it every day. You know, people that do visioning and vision boards, I think, have a little bit easier time staying on track. And another thing, you can set a resolution to just be a little bit nicer to yourself. Like, I am going to get a facial every month, or I am going to, take my girlfriend out to lunch once a month instead of once a year. So those can be, they can be nice things for yourself too, as well as, we can all spiff up a little bit of improvement or do something a little bit better.
We can, and if anything is being created, having any anxiety over it, remember that goals and resolutions can be changed. You have a choice. You're able to make those changes, and you might need to make those changes depending on what is happening in your life at that time. Things change, ebbs and flows, just like movement, and the world. We ebb and flow, and change is okay. There's no reason why maybe you put, I want to run the New York City Marathon this year, and you have a huge goal, but then you run a half marathon, right? Or maybe you just run a 5K, or maybe you broke your foot and you can't run at all. That is okay. Just being tender and kind to yourself, and knowing that you have the ability to do whatever you want to do, which makes you feel good. See, Sonia, I think this one's for you. For nutrition: cranberries, asparagus, and sweet potatoes. I don't know if that's a recipe, or if those are the favorite foods.
It sounds like favorite foods, but I'm like, well, they're all yummy, and I'm like, that sounds like Thanksgiving to me.
It does. I'm making me hungry right now,
Christmas
actually.
dinner or New Year's dinner, they all kind of
know, right?
work in the same place there.
Nathan says, what about eating before you go to a holiday party?
Yeah, I think Rosemary did address that briefly when she said, don't starve yourself before going to a holiday party. Just do your thing, keep to your schedule, your regular dietary schedule, so that you're not like eating, you're not starving and trying to fulfill that bottomless pit, at the moment. So
it takes a lot of discipline, I think, too, to go to the holiday parties, especially when things are back, in somewhat of a normalcy, when family has cookies and candies, and then you have a holiday party at work or another holiday party, it takes a lot of discipline to kind of just find the balance in what are you going to eat and how much to eat, and what are you, to your own personal goals of, do I go all out, or do I stay, can I control what I'm putting into my body to make me feel good too, just like with the alcohol or non-alcohol stuff. So makes
I think the other thing is you can kind of well, if you go to a party and you just have a really good old time, then I will set something up with myself, like, if I can't control myself in front of the cheese board, which is, happens way too often, then it's like, I am going to up the game in exercise tomorrow and hydration. It's just, I have a plan for how I'm going to take care of myself the next day to counterbalance, a whole lot of fat.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, one of my favorite holiday recipes is eggplant ricotta bites.
Ooh.
Colorful, tasty, and festive. Wow, Nathan, if you have that recipe, please post it up. That would be something I would be into. Sounds good to me. What do you girls think?
That sounds
delicious. I'm like, is he going to make it for the holiday party?
Maybe. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think he needs to test that out on you, Shay, first, see how it does.
Do you abide by the idea of eating slower and balancing with water intake to not overeat during the holidays?
Yes. We did talk about chewing your food, like slowing down, like smelling your food, enjoying the table, like feast with your eyes and your senses, and chewing your food thoroughly with each bite. And so that slows everything down. It lets you enjoy things more. It allows your brain to catch up with your tongue and your stomach. And you find that you're not, again, mindlessly eating, right? So you're really present in the moment, enjoying the preparation and work that it takes to put this delicious meal on the table, right? So I think your host and your body will appreciate that. Yes, those are very good ideas. Absolutely.
During what can be a stressful time, is meditation a good avenue to reset or set intentions? I'll answer that one. Yes, and yes. Meditation is always good, no matter what is going on in life. And of course, in more stressful situations, meditation definitely can be one of the best benefits to kind of bring the heart rate back to normal, bringing the breath back to normal, and bringing back a sense of calmness and peace to the body and to the mind. I can't say enough about meditation. So yes.
Rest, meditation, taking care of yourself, eating well, eating delicious foods, but being mindful of nutrition as well, exercise, just all the good habits, just introduce them a little bit more. But particularly, I came from a mother who said, you chew every bite 25 times, 20 to 25 times. And she was 120 till the day she died, 120 pounds, not 120 years old, no, 120 pounds.
Wow.
And, she was always the last one at the table, but it made us really mindful of, like, why does she have to finish first when we have just whooped this down, rather than enjoy it? So it's a really good habit that you mentioned, Dr. Fong.
And I also love the vision board idea. Like that is such a like for your next year. It's like you're planning your timeline, right? So it's all of the things that you want to accomplish for those next 12 months. And I am a very visual learner. So I have a constant vision board. Actually, it's a monitor that I don't use as a monitor, and it's my vision board, and it has sticky notes all over it. And so, like, and I use sticky notes because if things have to change, I could change that sticky note and put something else, right? So it's, but it's still in my everyday life, in my peripheral vision. That reminds me these are the things that I'm working towards. These are the things that it's not going to happen tomorrow, but we're taking steps so that maybe in 2 years, maybe in 3 years, we can get this done, and then I can take that goal off, and change it with something else and keep on moving. But for sure, like that, my like the visualization of all of those things um, can accomplish so much, and it's also a great reminder when you accomplish that and you see it again on your board and you're like, I did that, like I got that done, and it's like such a great feeling. I love checking off lists, and that's like, so it's like got it done.
I always did vision boards for my house. So, or my condo or wherever I was living at the time. And I would pull all of the magazine stuff that I loved and would keep it in a folder, right? And then sometimes I would put it on paper or whatever the case is, and be able to really just like look and then find something later on that, you know, that was part of it. And so then I would take that page and throw it away once I got what I was looking for, what that vision was. So yeah, I love doing the vision board stuff.
And I have to say, Shay, your visioning is certainly manifested with the success of Shay's Warriors. So I would take lessons from you in visioning any day, because yeah, I think you've done the impossible in a very short amount of time.
Well, I just saw a need, right? When you go through something, we see needs, and Shay's Warriors would not be who it is today if it wasn't for everyone that has that need, wants that need, and has the hearts to be able to do what we're doing. So thank you for that. But it really is this is yours just as much as it is Shay's Warriors is big, elsewhere, So I really appreciate that. Good habits are so important. Yes, Debbie, yes. Good habits are always great to get involved in. Have.
All right.
Awesome. Well, I think that kind of ties up our show for tonight. And if there are more questions, you can always post them on underneath our YouTube page or on the Facebook Live. We'll answer them later on. You guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Dr. Fung. Thank you for everyone that tuned in, shares our story. If you have love for our mission, know that Shay's Warriors is here for you. We have lots. We have lots. We have Spotify. We have blogs. We have this Talk, Listen, and Share. And we will be doing, of course, our big grand survivorship retreat, which is in June of 2022. So if there's a survivor out there that that needs a community of support and thrivership, please go ahead and nominate them at www.shayswarriors.org. We are here for you. We will call you. We will text you. We will email you back. But always remember, you're never alone. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a great night and
Good
happy
night.
holidays, everyone. Are we?
Happy
This is the only Shays Warriors for this month. Is this correct, Shay?
It is, but we do have a special one coming up on, help me with the date.
22nd.
The 22nd. So I'll be tuning in live for a few minutes, and you will have some messages from a whole bunch of other warriors that are warrior tribes out there. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
And
Great. Good seeing
good
everyone.
night. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Bye.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yes.